and intentionally to defame and hurt my client, and we have a smoking gun. And it is rare, and I will tell you that I've been practicing law for 35 years, and I have never seen such a strong smoking gun to show one man's malice as I've seen today, and which I will show you today, so you will all come to the conclusion that my client has done absolutely nothing wrong. She was unjustly stripped of her crown, and it is our job to get it back for her. So let me first talk about what the allegations are. The allegations, as you all know, start with my client winning Miss Florida USA. She competed against 66 other girls in a panel of judges, and after being crowned Miss USA, she went to the offices of Telair Interests to pick up her crown, to sign her contract, and to commence her responsibilities as Miss USA. At that point, she was confronted by Mr. Gravitt, who made the first false allegation, and which we believe is the nature of his malice, in which he claimed that my client is not a U.S. citizen. My client is, in fact, a citizen of Puerto Rico, and if some of you don't know, Puerto Rico is part of the United States. So that was a false allegation. He then was looking for something else because he had gathered a film crew to announce that he had stripped her of her crown, and he needed to find a reason for stripping her of his crown. And what he made up and the evidence that he manufactured and, quite frankly, has slandered my client with, and that's what is set forth in the allegation, is a document that came directly from my client's social media. So what I'm going to now show you is exactly what my client posted. But before we do so, understand the nature of his allegations. His allegation is my client cheated because she had someone do her hair and makeup professionally at the pageant. And as proof, he posted something from social media. This is the actual post that my client put on social media. Our lawsuit alleges that Mr. Gravitt intentionally cropped this post to make up false and malicious allegations that during the pageant she had a professional hair and makeup person. Why do I say that? And I'm going to point to something that is the essence of our case. Right down here, July 9th. What is July 9th? That is the date that my client had this gentleman do her hair and makeup because she was at a professional shoot. Not during the pageant, but a week before. So what does Mr. Gravitt do? He cropped this. And our allegations are he did so intentionally in order to strip her of her crown. Evidence made a mistake because there's something else. Where is it? Where it says until the, I'm trying to read it, where it says 9 days until the
7 days.
7 days. Where is it?
That is another photo.
Okay,
one was posted on Instagram and Facebook, so one showed
okay.
that.
So there is.
We have that too.
Okay, there is another one on Instagram, the same one in which my client says 7 days until the Miss Florida pageant. So certainly anyone looking at this would know, and anyone looking on her social media page would know this photograph was not taken at the pageant, not during the pageant, not during the week of the pageant, but in fact on July 9th. And that is the essence of our case. So what we've done is we filed a multi-count complaint. We're seeking damages for defamation. We're seeking damages for intentional infliction of emotional distress. We're seeking an injunction to prevent them from allowing the first runner-up to serve in the capacity as Miss Florida, and we're seeking for our client to be reinstated. So at this point, our client would like to read something into the record.
She would have
It's
to.
better for me to sit down?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Slide over.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, I apologize.
Okay.
Thank you all for being here today. I would like to thank my friends and family for providing me with the support system I needed during this very stressful time. I would like to thank those of you from all around the world who have contacted me through social media and emails to offer me kind words. I would first like everyone to know that I am innocent. All these false allegations have taken me completely by surprise. I have faced many challenges in my life, but nothing like this. I am honest, hardworking, who was raised in ideals and principles. I am putting all my faith in my attorney and the legal system to prove my innocence and save my reputation. To prove my innocence and save my reputation. Thank you.
What I'd like to do is show you the actual post where you can see.
You can tilt it up some,
Okay.
but we're going to glare.
Okay, can everyone see it?
Yeah.
And you can see, again, she says right here, 7 days until Miss Florida.
Richard, can I ask you a question so I can be clear
Sure.
on this? What do the rules say? The rules say you can have a professional makeup artist,
You know, that's a good point. There are no rules.
but are there any rules in the thing that she signed? that says
Of course
she
not.
can't?
There are no rules. So what?
Talking to the mics or
Yeah.
Sure,
closer
sure.
or something.
There are no written rules, there are no written regulations. What they did is when the girls got there, they said to them, you have to do your hair and makeup. You can't have a professional hair and makeup person. So she knew she could not have a professional hair and makeup person, and she didn't have a professional hair and makeup person. She did it herself. And if any of you were worried, I did my own hair too.
Okay, so let me just get this clear. So before she went in, she had this professional makeup done
9 days earlier for a shoot that was done something completely unrelated.
9 days earlier.
Yeah. Now, one thing I'm going to tell you, as much as I know, no one is going to have their hair and makeup done 9 days in advance of the pageant. You're going to do it immediately before.
Mr. Wolfe, why does he have it in for your client? I mean, what's the motive?
We have our belief. It's set forth in the lawsuit, and I'll tell you what the lawsuit alleges. The lawsuit alleges that there is an unfair system going on in which the Miss Florida pageant is beholden to a company that provides support and counseling to a group of girls who are, quote, insiders. My client is not one of the insiders, and this was all done to get rid of my client so one of the insiders could be propped up as Miss Florida. And you will see that it's very clear, and it's set forth in the lawsuit.
Is the insider the runner-up?
Yes. Any other questions? Yes.
You mentioned citizenship came up during this whole debacle. Do you allege that xenophobia has something to do with this?
Some comments were made, unfair comments that I believe show prejudice, in which comments were made to my client such like, this is not the way we do things in our country. It may be the way things are done in your country. And let me remind everyone, Puerto Rico is part of our country.
So can you prove who did her hair and makeup the day of the pageant?
She did.
She did her own hair and makeup?
Yeah,
I did my own hair and makeup today, matter of fact.
Go girl, I do mine every day.
so do I.
But, I mean, can you use that as proof? I mean, was anybody in the room with her that could back her up? I mean,
I don't know, but it's up to them to prove it. And I will tell you, she will swear on a stack of Bibles. She did her own hair and makeup. The person that they allege did her hair and makeup, and this is what they claim is their proof, is no proof. It is proof that it was done 9 days earlier. So unless they come up with something new, which would be their fourth reason for why they've stripped her of her crown, that is yet to be seen. And we're waiting for that once the lawsuit is responded to.
Mr. Wolfe, is it possible that Genesis Dávila has the same comment in Spanish for the video? Yeah?
Sure.
Gracias
Okay.
a ti. Sí.
Okay?
There's going to be this.
Oh, no, into the mic.
Primero que nada, gracias a todos por estar aquí presentes en el día de hoy. Le quisiera dar las infinitas gracias a mis amigos, a mi familia y a todas las personas que me han ayudado durante este momento tan difícil en mi vida. También quisiera dar las gracias a todos los fanáticos alrededor del mundo entero que se han contactado conmigo a través de las redes sociales para ofrecerme palabras muy nobles. Primeramente quisiera aclarar que yo soy inocente y todas estas falsas alegaciones que se han hecho en mi contra me han tomado por sorpresa. Yo he tenido momentos muy difíciles en mi vida, pero nada como esto. Soy honesta, siempre he trabajado por lo que he querido en la vida y mi familia me ha inculcado los valores y principios. Hoy yo pongo toda mi fe en mi representante legal, Richard Wolfe, y el sistema legal para poder probar mi inocencia y que puedan salvar mi reputación. Gracias.
So let me tell you what the next step is. As I said, the lawsuit has been filed. We will be filing an emergency motion this afternoon. We are going to wait until we find out who the assignment judge is. We will then ask the judge for an immediate emergency hearing so we can restore her properly as Miss Florida. And that is everything we have today, unless there's any other questions.
Do you know if anybody's ever tried to do something like this involving this pageant before?
I'm not aware of it.
But these are the steps you...
These are the steps that you would take as a lawyer. So what we're seeking is two different things. One is what's called legal relief. One is what's called equitable relief. Equitable relief is set forth by the judge. Because of the nature of it, we're asking for an emergency hearing, and that will be determined based on the assignment judge's calendar, and based on the system, we don't know who the assignment judge is as of this moment, even though the lawsuit was filed 2.5 hours ago.
I have one last question
Sure.
for Genesis. You worked your whole life for this moment, right? I mean, this has been a dream. I don't think that you mentioned this. I mean, what does it feel like to have a dream taken away from you?
You can answer that.
I don't think there's a way that I can put it into words. I just felt I was just really taken by surprise. No one's really aware, but how I found out about this was through a post on social media. So of course I was devastated.
Are there any other questions?
Yeah, but how much is the, what was the prize? What did she win for?
Well, the prize is unstated. So if you win Miss Florida, you go on to compete in Miss USA. They state that supposedly there's a $100,000 package of things that are offered, which include a trip, gowns, and jewelry. We're yet to find out because it was never given to her. So we'll find out.
Can I ask
Sure.
the same question in Spanish?
Sí.
¿Cómo te sentiste cuando finalmente te quitaron la corona del concurso de belleza?
En mi caso, la corona nunca se me quitó de mis manos, porque cuando yo me entero de la situación y lo que estaba ocurriendo, yo me entero vía Facebook, que es una de las redes sociales, donde la chica, que es la primera finalista en este caso, aparece con la corona y aparece con la banda del Miss Florida. Pero en todo momento yo tenía mi banda y mi corona en mis manos porque yo iba justo de camino a firmar mi contrato, que para mí entender esa era la razón principal por la cual yo iba a ir a las oficinas del señor Gravitt en esa tarde. Y yo, ¿qué te puedes imaginar? Yo estaba destruida. Y para mí fue un momento muy emocional porque yo, esa última semana yo me sentía como si me sentía en una nube, porque había sido mucho trabajo, el cual me había dedicado durante muchos años para que al fin se me diera la oportunidad, y precisamente por eso mismo, por la preparación que había tenido durante tantos años para llegar ahí, para que se me quitara de esa manera. Gracias.
It will be very interesting as to how IMG, which is the owner of the pageant, reacts. We're waiting to see if they will voluntarily agree to restore her and allow her to compete in Miss USA.
How do you come up with the $15 million number? Why $15 million?
It's an amount we believe is appropriate, given what Mr. Gravitt has done to her.
And it's 15, not 5, because the press
15.
release said 5.
15. Any other questions? Well, I thank you all for coming. That will conclude
And the
our press
proper
conference.
pronunciation of her name is what?
Genesis Dávila.
Genesis Dávila.
Genesis.
And do you have to prove her citizenship? I mean, is there a birth certificate?
I assume there's a birth certificate. I don't
Have an
think-
American passport,
yeah.
of course.
We don't think we'll have any problem proving that. And if you read the lawsuit will explain exactly what my client did vis-a-vis her citizenship, and I don't believe that's an issue anymore.
Actually, one more thing.
Sure.
In previous cases like this, has the amount been similar to the one you're seeking now?
I can't say that there is a similar case. So I do a fair amount of defamation, and obviously the amount that's ultimately awarded is determined by a jury of 6 people off the streets of Dade County, and they'll determine whether the appropriate amount is $15 million or $15 million plus punitive damages.
Has there ever been a case where a judge has stepped in to give back a crown to somebody?
Not that I'm aware of. But I've only checked in Florida. I have not checked anywhere else. And there wouldn't be a reported decision unless it was ultimately an appeal.
And when do you believe a judge will make a decision on this?
Well, as I said, the judge makes the decision on the issue of the injunction. We don't even know who the judge is. Once we find out who the judge is, I'll ask them for an emergency hearing. I don't know the judge's calendar, and then I'll find out when the judge will be willing to give us an emergency hearing.
I have a question. I'm
Sure.
really sorry. Did you all address the whole issue about her getting her makeup done by somebody? I don't know what that's
Yes,
about.
we addressed that.
Okay.
Okay. Are you from Univision?
No, from Channel 4.
Okay. Yeah, we addressed all that. Okay.
Thank you.